Welcome to another edition of the GrAE Area. I'm here with Knicks Thomas, Devin Knicks Thomas. You can catch him out on Behaving Daily podcast as well. So, Dev, this is our reaction piece to one of the greatest verses, if not the greatest verses to date. Snoop versus DMX. They garnered close to 2.5 million views on IG alone, and this is one of the first simulcast broadcasts on Apple Music. So they definitely were able to generate a lot of traction from this, and the reaction has been very, very, very well received. We're gonna sit down and talk about it, and just really get into some stuff we've been speaking about behind the scenes. So let's get into it. What did you think about the verses, and what was your thoughts?
First of all, what up? It's been a minute. Hope you good during this quarantine. For the verses, it's definitely the best one I've seen. And what I realized is when I was watching it, they got to be together. It can't be no one person here and another person. They got to be together, because when they're together, it feels like an actual concert. Even the Jadakiss and Fabulous one, I like that one because they were together. You know what I'm saying? There's no sound issues and none of that crap. It was crisp. Well, it surprised the hell out of me, because I don't know if you knew this, but I didn't know they were gonna be together. So with that being said, yeah, it was the best. It was by far the best one. I haven't watched all of them though, so take that with a grain of salt. But that was the best one I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
The one before that was the RZA and DJ Premier one, but that one had so many sound issues. It was like it was messing up the flow. This one, it was just straight fire all through. So yeah, it was fire, man.
To your point, I think when Verzuz first started, it was really in response to quarantine and trying to figure out a way to keep people entertained during this time. Swiss Beats and Timbaland actually came together, and they did a battle over IG, playing their best music, and that started the battles, and you started to see, Scott Storch versus Manny Fresh. You started to see more production battles, more writer battles through IG. But one of the biggest verses prior to Jadakiss and Fab was Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. And seeing the traction that one got, it wasn't necessarily a battle, but it was a collection of music, them coming together and really vibing together, and that brought a lot of people together.
Right.
I think that Swiss and Timbaland realized we might have an opportunity to really take this to a larger scale. And to your point about Primo and RZA, that definitely got a lot of traction. On IG, it definitely did. But to your point about the sound issues, we saw that a lot with Nelly and Ludacris, Babyface and Teddy Riley. There's been a lot.
Oh yeah, that was the worst one. Yeah. Right, I remember that one.
I think once you got to Jadakiss and Fab, they realized if we're gonna do this, we have to make this a performance.
Right.
And those two were in a specific spot, and we started to see them really trying to make sure that they got the proper HD quality, and I think Apple Music played a part in that as well. But this one right here, to see Snoop versus DMX, it was so many different parallels in a lot of ways, especially from West Coast, East Coast. They were able to play into a lot of narratives that really built it up, and for them to come together and perform it, to your point, the way that they did, I think it brought the best quality out. But right. Before we get into it, I want to say this about Jadakiss and Fab. I think that the Jadakiss and Fab performance was one-sided, but Jadakiss did so well that it really brought the performance of the entire thing together. But that was more one-sided. I think this one was even in terms of like the reaction from both sides.
Yeah. Like you said, I like what you said about the Jill Scott and Erykah Badu one, because that's what I felt about this one. Like, I don't think they're really battling. You could tell that they had genuine love for each other. So it was just more like a concert to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what made it good. They was performing each other's songs, dancing to each other's songs. So it was good, man. I liked it.
Right. When you looked at because one thing that's important, I think that when I really look at this one, I really look back to Jadakiss and Fab as well, because I feel like you can't really lose in this in these type of things, because what happens is, and I think this is why the connection with Apple Music is so important, is because a lot of times you're introducing music that maybe new fans weren't aware of. So when you're playing certain songs, it allows the fans to go back and check out where this is from, what year is this. It really reintroduces music to old fans and new fans. So when you look at when the Verzuz is done, they put the playlist together on Apple Music and Tidal. They're able to get new sales, new streams, right? When Jadakiss and Fab did their verses, it seemed like Fab wasn't prepared to play his songs. And in a lot of ways, to your point about it being a performance in a concert, you have to match a vibe sometimes. You have to match the vibe that the other person just played. You got to be able to respond in kind to it. So I feel like what Snoop and DMX did, they were working together in unison in a lot of ways. I think Swiss Beats, being so connected with DMX, he made sure DMX was prepared to play the right songs. And that's one thing that Jadakiss was ready with. Every time Fab finished a song, Jada was ready. Right. You know what I mean? So Swiss being there with DMX helped. I definitely think they prepared. But Snoop is a DJ as well, so he knows, what the temperature of the room is, how he can match certain things. I think the songs that he played were early '90s centric. Death Row. Late '90s No Limit vibes. Then he threw some Pharrell in there too, Pharrell vibes in there just to tip the scale for the women a little bit. And DMX played some women's songs as well. But at the same time, they understood, I gotta play my peak music for what the people really want to hear, which is Death Row, mid '90s vibes. So Snoop understood the room. I think both of them played, to your point, they played to each other really well.
All right, yeah, I agree with that. And I think Snoop, obviously, performance was a little bit better. I felt like DMX was running out of wind after like 30 seconds, which is understandable because he looked a little heavy. But I want to say this. It's good to see DMX in good spirits. If we take anything away from that, I was happy to see that.
When they announced the battle, I kept my fingers crossed, because
me too. I was like, he not gonna show up.
Right.
I'm like, he not gonna show up.
I'm like, look, I'm not counting any chickens till they had till 8 p.m. And then at 8 p.m., I want to see him there, ready to actually play the songs. I wasn't trying to jinx anything, because we all know that sometimes, especially going back, early 2000s, mid 2000s, a lot went on behind the scenes with DMX, and it's well documented in terms of, just his battles with substance abuse and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure that he was in the proper space to perform and get it done. And I think that alone was a victory, and the fact that he performed so well and is generating so much positive response is a beautiful thing.
Right. Now let's get into it, because going into it, I was like, Snoop's gonna watch him. But then I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not really into the verses like that, so I forget it's the best 20 songs.
Right.
Because let's keep it if it was a survival thing and they went hit for hit, Snoop will watch almost anybody.
Yeah, the longevity Snoop has is parallel to no one.
Yeah, he was playing songs 25 years apart.
Right.
So yeah, so I was like, Snoop is gonna win. So when I found out it was gonna be 20 songs, I was like, I still think Snoop is gonna win, but X is gonna make it close. Mm-hmm. And well, maybe you don't forget because you like DMX. You love DMX. I like him too, but I forget how much power he had in the streets.
Right.
People love DMX, bro.
It's one of those things, and this is where people forget about Snoop as well. I think.
You think so? Because Snoop's still coming out with bangers.
No, Snoop is coming out with bangers. And I think that Snoop, his branding quality is very similar to
Shaq. A1.
You know what I mean? It's similar to Shaq in a lot of ways, where he can dip into different lanes so well that you forget what his foundation is, right? So
okay, I got you. Yeah,
when people think about Snoop Dogg, they think about Uncle Snoop, football Snoop,
yeah,
comedy Snoop. You know what I mean? But people forget when Snoop Dogg was at his apex. I'm talking about from '92 to '95. He's up there with the biggest rap stars of
right.
the world. You know what I mean? He was very instrumental in making sure that Tupac got to death row. Snoop Dogg was bigger than Tupac at that time as a rap artist.
Yeah,
So people forget that that power of Snoop. And at the same time, when you really look at the peak of their runs, let's say DMX is 98 to 01. His run is to 03, but the peak is to 01. Snoop's run is 92, and I'm counting the Chronic because he played a huge role in that. From 92 to 96, Snoop Dogg is Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? Snoop Doggy
right.
Dogg. So for them to come together and really compliment each other in that way, it was amazing to me. It was amazing to me.
Right. And I thought about this comparison yesterday. I want to know what you think. What do you think about DMX is like Terrell Davis to me? Like, look at Terrell Davis' first 4 years. When he's on, you could argue that's the greatest 4-year period you'll ever see a running back. He got the 2000, he got the Super Bowl MVP, he got the regular MVP. He was the greatest postseason back of all time still.
Right, that's
like,
a fact.
just like
that's a fact.
Like DMX, he got a 3-4 year run, maybe a little longer if you want to include the #1 album sales, even though they might not be that great.
Right.
But like from 98 to 01, he was better than. You could argue he's better than Jay-Z.
No,
you know what I'm saying.
Especially
in '98,
he's the biggest artist in the world. In the world, I'm talking about
in the world. So
Jay-Z, Eminem, and you know how big they were. DMX was bigger than them. That's not hyperbole. That's not. DMX was so huge that in '98, Jay-Z boycotted the Grammy.
Right.
And he ended up winning, but he boycotted for the fact that DMX wasn't even nominated. And in '98 and '99, DMX ran hip hop. So
that's when Volume 2 came out too. So Volume 2 is up there with the J album. So
right, exactly.
For him to do that, that's was like powerful.
Right.
And I was thinking about his first album too, because he has like how many songs? 20, 22, 20?
It's 18. No, 19.
It's about 19, 20. So I wonder if he would come out with that now, where he split it up and make 2 albums out of it instead of just one long album. I always thought about that because I did feel like his album the songs are good, but like it's a little too long for me. So like, you know how Pusha came out with the 7, Nas, Kanye. I wonder if he would do that today.
It's a slippery slope because, and I always think about this as well. DMX started late age wise. He got on at.
What was he like?
He was 20. He was 26, 27, right? It's very similar to Jay-Z as well, because Jay-Z had a life on the street before he actually committed full time to the music. So to see that happen, that's why I think that DMX run was so powerful at the time he did, because he was able to simultaneously drop 2 albums in 1 year, and that hadn't been seen. Well, Nas did it, but it wasn't to the gravity of Tupac when he did it in 1996.
I'm about to say, I think Pac did.
But wait, no, I'm right. At that time, DMX was the second artist to do that since Tupac. Then after DMX did it, Nas did it in '99. So
which was not nearly as good as DMX's joints.
Right. So to see, I think DMX was trying to catch up for lost time. So that first album, he drops 19. Classic. Then the second one comes out in December of '99, which really sets up December of '98, which sets up all of '99. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a good point. But I think at that time, outside of Nas, everybody was dropping, at least for their first one, they was dropping 14, 15 songs.
Right.
Biggie's first album had 17.
Second album had a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, it just.
But that rarely works though. That was my whole point. Like that's why Life After Death is so good, because like we always go back and forth, but it's only like 1 or 2 songs that you take out. Mostly when you have a double disc, it's like 5 or 6. So that was just a point that I was just trying to think of listening to it. And those albums are good because when they want to put on, they play songs from those albums. Like Snoop Dogg, he made sure he played Doggy Style.
Exactly.
So that's how you know. That's how I always tell people, like, yo, if you know when the album's good, when did it come out? 93?
93. 27
years later, you still trying to play that song and everybody could vibe to it. Like, we weren't alive back then, so it was probably even bigger back then. But yeah, he made sure he played them songs from Doggy Style. He left out a few, but we could get into that. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on those 2 artists based off the battle I saw. Based off from period, they both, and I would say neither one of them are in my top 20 personally wise, but what they did for the game, man, you can't really deny that.
For me, I got Doggy Style and Dog and Hell is Hot in my top 5 albums ever, like favorite albums. Right. I love Snoop. Snoop is in my top 10. I got X in my top 7, based on I usually judge artists and even players. Like, when we talk about players, I don't really think about the last years at the end when nobody really cares. If I'm thinking about them at their peak of their prime, so I got X in my 7. I got Snoop in my 10, and those 2 albums specifically were very influential in how I view hip hop going forward. Just 93, 98. I got Ready to Die, Life After in there as well. You already know that. So yeah, I mean, just the gravity of those 2 albums, specifically in my lifetime, and influencing me and how I view artists and how they put albums together, the way it's sequenced. I mean, those 2 albums were amazing. And to Snoop's credit, this is how I know they were working off each other so well. Like, when you looked at what Snoop played, right? Snoop played a bunch of Doggy Style. He
left out some joints.
He definitely did. But then he played Be Please off of the second No Limit album. But the second No Limit album had production from Dr. Dre. And people don't know that. So he made sure that.
Oh yeah, he even said it in the song. He even said it in the song. Yeah.
Right. So the he had to keep that thread to make sure that people understood. Nah, this is where I'm at with. I'm in pocket with this. He did go to the Beautiful and the Drop It Like It's Hot, because those were major hits. Pharrell laced them. He threw the 50 Cent PIMP remix in there. Throw that in there. But he had to make sure to keep that Dr. Dre 90s, the Tupac 2 of America's Most Wanted. He made sure to keep that thread there, and I think that was important.
Right. Now let's get into this battle. How'd you score it, man?
I didn't score it. I'm gonna be totally honest. I didn't score it. I think when I was looking at how, first off, every song they played, I was going crazy.
That's fine, yeah.
From Deep Cover down, I was ready, because like I said, I got both of them in my top 10. Anything that they was playing, I was ready to go. So for me, it was about could DMX match it? Could Snoop match it? And I like I said, they matched each other. He comes out with Deep Cover because that's the first song that people get.
He came, yeah.
Then DMX comes with the intro off of It's Dark and Hell is Hot, which set the tone for the run that he had. So I'm like, yo.
I don't know if I would have picked that. I don't know if I would have picked that song if I was DMX though.
But that intro.
It's hard. It's hard.
You know what I'm saying?
But when you go on, that's what I'm saying. It's not really a battle to me.
Right. It was. That's why I didn't score it, because I felt like it wasn't a battle. And this is the thing too about it, right? Like we were saying, the idea that the verses, if you do it the right way, is not a battle. That's how it's supposed to be. But when you look at a Fab and Jadakiss, I think what made it more of a battle was the public reaction. Like, because when you look at Jadakiss and Fabulous, their runs happen at the same time. They both from New York. So it's like this idea that, yo, during that era, especially when we coming up in high school, them debates, who's better, Fab or Jadakiss, that plays into the narrative. So that's what made it more of a battle. I think many people believe, yo, if Snoop really take it there in terms of longevity,
he gonna take, it's not even gonna be close.
It's nothing that DMX could do because his run is not that long. But people understood in terms of the verses, you gonna play your 20 best songs. If it's 20 best, DMX can stand up. You know what I'm saying? He might run out at the end, but it's gonna be close. And but to his credit, he had 20 songs. So it's like for me, especially the way they set it up from song to song. If we go through the list, I got the list.
I got it too. So like I caught a lot of flack for this, not just from you, but from a lot of people. I was like, Snoop was killing him the first 7. I had Snoop 6-1. We could go. I think Deep Cover's better than Intro. Snoop Dogg's What's My Name is better. Gin and Juice is better than Get At Me, Dog. Dre Day.
That's close.
That's close. This is what I'm going with. I'm going with Gin and Juice. No, Dre Day. I mean, to me, there was nothing. In my personal opinion, nothing.
On some X shit, can't beat Dre Day.
Nothing he was gonna play was gonna beat that. So that's an automatic win. So that's 4. Then he had to join with Tupac, America's Most Wanted. America's Most Wanted.
Two America's Most Wanted. Get At Me, Dog. That's close.
No, I thought he played Stop Being Greedy with the What did he play with that?
No. He did play Stop Being Greedy. Right.
So I got that one. And then the first one I gave X is when he played the Money Cash Hoes against, what did Snoop play?
He played down for my nigga.
Yeah. And I like Down for My Ends, but Money Cash Hoes, you can't beat that. And then round 7, Ain't No Fun. What did X play? The joint with Aaliyah.
Back in One Piece.
Yeah, I gave it to Ain't No Fun. So to me,
Ain't No Fun got that.
That's what I'm saying. So a lot of people, I caught flack from a lot of people, but I'm like, yo, look at the list. It's 6-1 to me.
No, okay.
So what made it?
Now,
go ahead.
The next 10 is where X catch up.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, that's why it shocked me that people saying it was so close. Because when I watched it live, I was like, "There's no way. It's 6-1 already. It's only 20 songs, so all he needs is 4 more, and he got it." Right. But then I thought Snoop Dogg was he didn't play his best stuff. I'm not saying he did that on purpose, but X really turned up after then. So I gave X, what were we on, round 8?
Yeah.
X gonna give it to you. I'll give him that over Bitch Please. Round 9, Who We Be. I like that.
Get on the floor versus the Shiznit. I'm going to Shiznit.
I got the Shiznit too, but I can see Get It on the Floor.
The Shiznit was, Get It on the Floor was a bigger song.
Yeah, but I think the Shiznit might be low-key the best song on Doggy Style. Or it's in my top 3 that I like, that I vibe to when I listen to that album. Yeah. So what's that, 10?
Yeah, we
had
10.
Based off that 10, what's that, 7-3? 8-2? Something like what? This is for my scorecard.
Yeah, okay.
Like you said, you didn't score it. So that's like 7-3 right there. Now the next 10, what did he do? He did Lay Low and Snoop Dogg. DMX did the Fucking With D. I gave that to X.
Right.
Now this is where I caught the most flack for this round right here. The Beautiful versus the what they want.
Now look.
I gave it to Beautiful.
This. Now watch this. They both huge songs, right? They both huge songs, but what these want resonated more in the streets.
With the streets, right?
So now what? So and you got to think about Snoop working with Pharrell at the time. While it was a huge song, it definitely was a shift from his normal sound. So I think it like comparable to Beautiful versus Drop It Like It's Hot. Drop It Like It's Hot resonates more in the streets.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that one later. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I feel like while Beautiful was a huge song, they both was huge songs. I think What These Want resonates more. So that's why I think What These Want got it.
And I think when he did the name verse, that's I mean, I'm not going to passionately argue against that round. I just personally gave it to Beautiful, but when he did that, the names, I think that's what got it.
Right.
I actually think Beautiful is a better song.
Yeah, I mean, you talking about musically or just your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had to pick a song that I want to listen to between those two, I would pick Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
What's the next round he did?
Then how's it going down versus Pump Pump? How's it going down?
I gave that to X. Yeah, easily.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Why he play that? He could have played still Dr. Dre, and it would have been over. But
see, this is the thing. He knew, but this is what we was talking about too. It wasn't more so the battle. It was more of I gotta remind the people of the vibe. So he's making sure that he gets most of Doggy Style in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, cause look, if we keep it 100, why he ain't play G's Up, Hoes Down? He could have played that.
Yo, that was the one I was gonna say he didn't play. That was one of my ones too. Oh, Lottie Dottie, I would let him play that, but it wouldn't go with the. I get what you're saying with the vibe or whatever. Right. It didn't go with that, but
this is what I'm talking about in terms of the connection with Apple Music, because G's Up, Hoes Down is not on Apple Music. So when they put the playlist together, they can't, when they put the stream, they can't go to that song. You know what I'm saying? And
that's a good point. That's a really good point. Actually.
I think that's where Fab lost too, because we're gonna come back to X and Snoop, but just to tie into the Apple Music thing, Fab didn't play no mixtape records. He didn't play any mixtape.
For real?
He didn't play no soul tape.
I didn't see that one.
He didn't play any There's No Competition, and these are the songs that people, especially when Fab was on his run, like when he was trying to really take it in connection to Loso's way before and after, he was going from the mixtape vibe, and a lot of those songs, even though they weren't albums, they were strong records, strong in the streets and strong on the radio. So you not playing any of those songs, you lose a core part of your career and your fan base. So that's why I think G's Up, Hoes Down was a play, but he could have definitely played that.
Yeah, I was about to say that's one of my top 3 right there. Not top 5, but that's one of the best songs on that album. But exactly, that's a good point.
Exactly. So after Pump Pump, he goes It's All Good versus Bees Ain't. You know what I'm saying?
I gave that to Snoop easy.
Last song on the Chronic. You can't. Yeah,
I gave that to Snoop easy. I'm losing count. I don't know if you count, but that's got to be at least 10 right there on my scorecard.
Okay.
But
and then now watch the end. Now watch the end. So you got Slippin' versus Murder with.
Oh, this is a good one too.
This is a good one.
This is a good one. I'll say this. I think Murder the Case is a better song, but Slippin' you feel more.
Right.
That's the only thing that used to trip me out about X, is he used to say such and such is not a lyricist and such don't have bars like that. But I'm like, X don't have bars like that either. He make you feel it right here in your heart.
Right.
So it's not like he don't be spitting he like Tupac. I never understood that either. How can somebody like DMX, but they don't like Tupac? They're the same person to me. It's just one's on the East Coast, one's on the West Coast.
No. But, I mean, that's a great point. That's a great point.
I get out to X. I get out to X because you feel it more. That might be pound for pound his best song because you feel it.
Right. You
feel it. So I give you X on that one.
So then,
Murder the Case was powerful though.
That was
especially because he was facing a murder charge. I don't think people realize that.
And see, he was on. And this is why that's what I was saying earlier. Like people don't remember how big Snoop was.
Right.
Like in the midst of the murder case,
there's no way that comes out today.
He's making Doggy Style while it's happening, right? So, and in the anticipation for Doggy Style off the heels of the Chronic, which took over all of '93, right? Because it comes out at the end of 1992. So whatever comes out in '92 runs all of '93. Anticipation of Doggy Style is through the roof all over the world, right?
Right. And it lived up to the hype. You got to think, like, I was doing some research. That's got to be, it's either Nas Illmatic or Biggie's joint. Doggy Style was the most anticipated debut album ever. That's why it sold so well.
Right.
People remember that too. It's like Ron. Like, he was so anticipated and he delivered. It's hard to do that.
Hard. Or especially off the heels of the Chronic, which in my opinion, Doggy Style is better, but the
Doggy Style is better.
Doggy Style is better, but the Chronic is greater because of the significance of how it's at the table. But if you go in song for song and overall, it's no. I mean, for people to really understand the gravity of him doing Murder Was the Case, and then remember, before the verdict even comes out, he does the performance on the he does the performance in the midst of battling the case, and he goes on to say, "I'm innocent." Like he does the song and lets the people know I'm innocent. I'm innocent. You know what I'm saying? That's the MTV Awards. I think it was either the MTV Awards or the.
Well, he was on the wheelchair. Wasn't he in the wheelchair or something like that? Yeah.
Facts. But this goes to what we were saying, how they were matching each other, because because DMX gonna play a song that not only, to your point, maybe it's pound for pound his best song, but that's the song that resonates with people because he's telling his life. That's pain right there, right?
Yeah.
In the midst of a traumatic battle and trying to overcome trials and tribulations, he comes up with that. Then Snoop comes up with a song that he was going to do trials and tribulations as well. Like, so they're matching each other. Oh, and another caveat that people might miss too. It's also important to remember who goes first on each round, because sometimes when you say, Dev, you go first on the song, right?
Right.
Like in round one, you go first. I have to match you, right? But then sometimes, depending on the song I play, the song I play might be fire, but people might still be remembering the song that you just played, and then you responding in round two has nothing to do with my round one, but your round two might be in connection to your round one song, and people might give you round two just off the fact that your response in round two to after my round one is it might dwarf that. So sometimes songs get caught in the middle. I think that's what happened with Fabulous a lot too. Like if you go song for song with Jadakiss, like depending on round one, round two, it might be closer. But if you think about the gravity of the room and how people were judging Jadakiss' performance compared to Fabulous, that's what made it the gap a lot bigger than what it was. So I just want to throw that in there too.
Nah, you right.
So after that, what's the next song?
What round? Oh, Doggy Dog World, I think, versus
Doggy Dog World versus Start or Something.
Yeah, that's Snoop easy. Come on now. Come on. That's Snoop.
That's Doggy.
That's what I'm saying. Going through this song per song, it sounds like Snoop is killing them, but watching it didn't feel that way.
Right.
It didn't feel that way.
So then we got 4, 3, 2, 1 versus I Love It. We're going 4, 3, 2.
That's X easy. That's X.
Money Power.
This is a good round right here too. This is a good round. I like this round.
Money Power Respect versus PIMP remix. I'm going Money Power Respect.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too. PIMP is a way bigger song though, I think.
But PIMP 50 though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like some of these songs is unfair. Like Snoop is just a part of it. Like we don't really listen. Well, I shouldn't speak for everybody, but Snoop is not the best part on PIMP.
When you listen to PIMP, you're not. I mean, Snoop's remix was important to like 50's run, but
yeah,
PIMP the original song is what PIMP the original song is what made Snoop want to get on the remix. So
right,
it's not like the remix took the song to. It's not like One More Chance remix compared to One More Chance the original song.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's my only thing with that. So I got Money Power Respect is.
I got that too. So, I got that.
So
this is the greatest round you ever gonna hear right here.
Oh, this right here?
Bruh.
This right here,
Right.
yo.
So we got Ain't Nothing But a G Thing versus Rough Riders Anthem. I know what I'm going with.
You got to go with Nothing But a G Thing. You got to.
That's what I said.
That's the greatest.
I thought you was gonna put Rough
that,
Riders Anthem.
No. Nothing But a G Thing is the greatest rap song ever. To me.
Yo, I said that too. Like to me, I didn't hesitate to put G Thing in there.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not even gonna play that game. You know what I'm saying?
But most people, if you go through most people though, they're having a hard time with it, which I get. Rough Riders Anthem is hard, but G Thing is just like.
But see, this is what I'm saying about how they matched each other. You get what I'm saying? When you play Nothing But a G Thing, you gotta have a haymaker. You gotta have a song that when it comes on, it's like this is how big Rough Riders Anthem is. Again, I got Nothing But a G Thing at 1 all time, period. But Nothing But a G Thing was so big. I mean, Rough Riders Anthem was so big that when they did Woodstock in 1999, this is 1999. X already got 2 albums out at this time. I mean, he's on fire. He's scorching. It's nothing anybody can do. If you look at that crowd at Woodstock, I advise anybody to go on YouTube and check out Woodstock 1999 and look at DMX's performance. Look at how he destroys the show and watch Rough Riders Anthem when it comes on.
Right.
That song is, to this day, it still shuts down everything. Right. You know what I mean? So I mean, that round right there was, I mean, I was going crazy in the crib the whole time. And also, when we get done, I'm gonna score it. I'm gonna score it myself for the first time. But I want to give you the highlights of when I was going crazy in the crib. So
do you have my score up there? Cause I lost count.
I'm gonna go through Snoop. I'm gonna go through Snoop songs, and I know the ones that you picked. So you got Deep Cover. You picked What's My Name. You picked Genesis.
The first 5. You could just. I got the first 5.
So the first Snoop song that you didn't give him was My Name.
Oh man, that's a great song too.
Yeah, but it was against.
That's what I'm saying. He put it against it was against the wrong song. That's all.
Yeah, right. Then so what's that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 6 Ain't No Fun.
The Shiznit.
That's 7.
I got Beautiful.
You gave it to Beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So that's 8. 9, 10, 11. So right now you got 11. We had G Thing, so G Thing is 11.
Right.
So Drop It Like It's Hot versus Party Up.
Oh yeah, I want to get into this because remember you said one song's bigger and the other one you feel in the streets. That's how I feel about this song. So I gave it to Drop It Like It's Hot. But if somebody says Party Up, I'm not going to really debate it because it's like DMX's biggest song, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's his biggest song. Yeah, so I'm not going to trip off that, but I think Drop It Like It's Hot I think Drop It Like It's Hot relaunched Snoop's second half of his career.
100%.
Like, if you look at his second half of his career, it's actually pretty good. He's just not as popular as he once was. Like he got like the Blue Cartman treatment. Like that was a good album.
No, here's the thing about Snoop, and this is what people don't understand about artists, right? If you judge people by albums all the time, like if you really only judge them, you really only judge them by albums in the beginning. After that, it's about the longevity. So you have
that's a good point.
So you have artists like Jay-Z and Nas and unfortunately Biggie, Pac. We're gonna gauge them by their albums because of their primes. You get what I'm saying? But after that, after they show their staying power, you're judging them by how long they can last. And how artists last a lot of the times is if they can make hits. If you get, all you need is 1 or 2 singles every couple of years to keep you relevant. And that's one thing Snoop always did.
And that was a banger, bro.
Nah, Drop It Like It's Hot.
That was hard. Which one would you give it?
I'm giving it to Party Up. But that round was close too. And then the last one, you know, is, I mean, Where the Hood At, a great song, but it's not being the next episode.
Yeah, so that's about where I had it, like 12, 8, 13, 13, 9, something like that. But yeah, it was a good battle.
No, but see, that's 21 songs.
Yeah.
They did an extra song. So do round 20, you had it 12-8.
So 13-8, yeah, I'll get that. Sounds about right.
All
that
right.
sounds about right.
So if I judge it, and again, for me, it wasn't a battle. I gotta put that on the line. I'm biased to both of them. I love them. Every song they played, I was going crazy, hands down. I'm giving it a tie because of I'm giving it a tie based on the feeling of the night.
Right.
It didn't feel
I
like
feel
anybody was getting killed. It was just a great performance between two artists together. You know, it was a mutual performance for both of them. You get what I'm saying? So if I did Deep Cover versus Intro, I'm gonna go Intro.
I knew you was going there. You know how I knew? Because you had to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a close song though. That's
yeah. See, like to me, it wasn't really. I didn't really have too much trouble with that one. So like, it's all about. To me, it's like, we argue about music all the time, but it's like, yo, it's like what you like, bro. Like,
but again, I love Deep Cover. Deep Cover's crazy. It set the tone. Like, tonight's the night I get into shit. Yeah,
right. Yeah,
come on. I love Deep Cover. I love everything about Snoop. So
yeah, go ahead.
It's a close thing for me. So, but that's and I want to highlight the close rounds too. So,
all right.
That's a close round. I'm going Intro, right? What's My Name? Yep. Snoop is walking out the door. It's
right.
Snoop got that 1-1. Gin and Juice, Get At Me, Dog. I'm going. That's another close round. So that's two close rounds.
You think so?
Yeah. Get At Me, Dog was major. Get At Me, Dog.
It was, but Gin and Juice is like one of the best songs to ever come out.
No, but Get At Me, Dog is too. If you play Get At Me, Dog, the reaction you're gonna get is
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go Gin and Juice, but that's another close round for me. Dre Day, Walking Out the Door. So right now it's, what is that, 3-1? I got it 3-1.
Yeah.
I got it 3-1. Stop Being Greedy, Two of America's Most Wanted. Two of America's Most Wanted, got it. But I want to say this. A lot of that plays into the Snoop verse 2. He also played the Snoop. Not the Snoop verse. He played the Tupac verse before playing his verse. So when you're playing that verse, it plays into the feeling of hearing it. You get what I'm saying? So I'm giving it to Two of America's Most Wanted, but I think it's closer than people want to give it credit for. Because Stop Being Greedy was a big song too.
I think that Stop Being Greedy might be the best song on the album, besides Rough Riders Anthem. I think.
Nah, I got better songs. I got Damien.
A lot of people would say he forgot that too.
He didn't play that. Oh, definitely, he definitely forgot that. I think in a lot of ways, actually left some money on the table too. He played songs that he could have played.
But yeah, Damien is like, to me, like, Damien is a song, like, unless you're a hardcore DMX fan, you may not know about that song. You get what I'm saying? So I can see why he didn't play that one. But it's a hard song. But
I feel like if you playing songs of classics, like if you playing It's Dark and Hell is Hot songs, you got to play that song. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can see that. I like Stop Being Greedy better, but Damien's story is better.
Right.
But I like Stop Being Greedy. That beat is better. I think that's what it is. That beat is hard. But go ahead. My fault.
So now we go to Money Cash Hoes. Money Cash Hoes got it.
Yeah.
Back in One Piece, Ain't No Fun is Walking Out the Door. So right now, Snoop got, for me, he got What's My Name, Gin and Juice, Dre Day, America's Most Wanted, and Ain't No Fun. So that's 5. No, how was that? So how many rounds is that? Oh, I got it. Okay, 5.
5-3, right?
How was that?
Because you said intro, you
Yeah,
said Money Cash Hoes, and you said
those are the only ones.
only 2. Okay, so it's 5-2 then.
5-2, right? Um, B please, X gonna give it to you. I'm going X gonna give it to you. So 5-3. Who we be, G's and Hustlers. This is close. I think G's and Hustlers is a better song. I think Who We Be is the bigger song. I'm gonna go Who We Be. Get It on the Floor or the Shiznit. I'm gonna Get It on the Floor. So at
You
this
got
point,
5-5.
5-5. And this is the thing, the songs that Snoop is playing, that he wins, the rounds he wins, are bigger songs than any of the songs that X wins. But X is winning rounds where Snoop is not playing the song that he could have played yet. He saved those for later. So it's 5-5 to me at this point. And then we get into the next round. Effing with D or Lay Low. I'm gonna go Lay Low. But see, this is the thing where it's like resonating with the streets. If you ask somebody about effing with D, like anything is dark and hell is hot, people are gonna side with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that album just really shifted culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's similar to Doggy Style. If you ask, depending on who you ask, whatever song Snoop played from Doggy Style, he might win.
It's gonna win.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So it's 6-5. Then I'm going What These Want versus Beautiful. 6-6. How's It Going Down? Pump Pump. I'm going Snoop. I'm going DMX. Apologies. So I got it 7-6. This is the first time X takes the lead for me.
Right.
7-6. It's All Good. Bees Ain't. We going Snoop. He walking out the door. So it's 7-7. Slipping. Murder Was the Case. I'm going Slipping. That's right. So I got it 8-7.
8-7. Yeah.
Started Something versus Doggy Dog World. Doggy Dog World 8-8. I Love It versus 4-3-2-1. 4-3-2-1.
Walking out the door, bro.
9-8. And to be honest with you, I understand why Snoop did that. He got to play to that culture, the gangbang culture. He from the coast, from West Coast.
Yeah.
He got to play that. But that song is not winning in any version for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying.
He gave that round away. But it was a good vibe song. It's a good vibe song. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take away from that. So shout out to the East Side. Money, Power, Respect versus PIMP. This is a close round. It's a close round, but Money, Power, Respect got it for me. So at this point, what round is that? That's 9-8, 10-8. It's 10-8 actually. Rough Riders Anthem G thing. Snoop come back 10-9. And then
Party Up and Drop It Like It's Hot.
Party Up versus Drop It Like It's Hot. We're going see this is a close round. And I gotta go
You
X.
said Party Up.
Yeah.
So you got it.
I got it 11-9 X, and then the last song is Where the Hood At next episode.
So you got 11-10. I had
11-10.
it 13-8.
I got it 11-10.
Well, not that bad.
And I got Snoop giving away a round. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of rounds, and this is what a verse is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a straight up landslide. Oh, why is he even playing that? You get what I'm saying? Like, you're not supposed to.
Yeah,
like
you
that.
didn't really feel like that. Yeah.
So I feel like no matter what Snoop played, DMX was always prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the same thing for Snoop. Whatever DMX played, Snoop always had a response that could match it. So it was not an overwhelming dag, yo, what are they doing? Like, you didn't feel like that. I felt like that in a lot of ways with Nelly when he was going against Luda. I thought that should have been way closer.
I actually thought Nelly would win that. And I like Ludacris way more. But Ludacris is with the braids is in my top 10, but I thought Nelly would win because his hits were like he like DMX to me, just a different style. His run was so crazy.
Right.
And then he just kind of like just flamed out. But I thought Nelly would win that.
But now watch this, right? If you went who had the bigger songs, Nelly had the bigger songs, right? Or it's close. It depends on who you ask. But I think Nelly had the bigger songs, right? But if you went round by round, I think that's where Luda closes the gap. But before the performance, that would have been my theory. Like, if you went round by round, Luda would probably have songs that he would win. They just wouldn't be bigger than the rounds that Nelly won. You get what I'm saying? So depending on how you view the scope of the overall performance, you might tip the scale one way or another. But I think that Nelly's performance was so. I don't even want to say this. I don't even want to say disorganized, but the internet connection and then just the way that he was, he would play songs that people didn't even know. I'm like,
I gotta watch that. Yeah, I gotta watch that. The crazy thing is how they got like billions of dollars and they don't have a good internet connection. That's what be throwing me off. Like, bro, you own part of a team, an NBA team. You should have your internet in order, man.
But see, the thing about is, I think that sometimes it plays. It's not just the internet connection. It's about. I think it played into when you go on live with somebody. I think it had to do with IG Live as well. Like if you in the crib on your Wi-Fi, your joint is probably good money. But I think a lot of it had to do, especially with playing with the music through the live, kind of threw off a lot. So I think that's why some of the issues are what they are when they were playing, especially with RZA and Primo or Nelly and, you know what I'm saying? Or even Babyface and Teddy Riley. Like, I mean, they had to come back days later to do it. You know what I'm saying? But to your point about them being together, I think that's where Apple Music was like, nah, if we do this, we got to have the best sound quality to make sure that it comes together. You know what I mean? And, I mean, Fab and Jada got views crazy. The same thing with this one. And one thing that they're doing that was good about this one too is you can go back and restream it. So when you restream it, it doesn't have the video, but you can listen to it. You can listen to, everything that they were doing. Even, when they went after it was over, they had that session with the freestyle, and it was a beautiful moment, man. It was a beautiful moment. But I was really, really proud of hip hop Monday night, just the way it all came together and how we all as a community all over the world, everybody was talking about the Verzuz. It didn't feel like an overwhelming win on both sides. You know what I'm saying? It was just an evenly matched performance.
Right, and that's what I want to see. I want to see legends, man. I don't like shout out to Ludacris and Nelly and Jadakiss and Fab, but I wasn't really excited for those.
Right. Well, what about Primo? What about Primo and RZA? How do you feel about that?
I was excited about that, but like if they were in the same room, I'd be way more excited. I thought RZA. I like RZA more, but if someone said Primo won that one, I'll give him that one because Primo has a way. It's like DMX and Snoop. RZA to me, he got Wu-Tang like locked.
Right,
but Primo has like a long catalog. So it's
this is and I want to say this. I thought Primo was gonna smoke him, but
the songs he picked
weren't matching what RZA played. It wasn't matching. It wasn't matching the rhythm. It wasn't matching the vibe. Like RZA would play something, and I know Primo got a song that could match this, but he would go another route. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is a big song, but it didn't match what he just played. He just played More Kiss Goodnight, bro. Like, you got to be able to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right. So
yeah, that was a good verses, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man. The crazy part is like how you said you don't judge it because you like both of them. I feel like people have their winner before it even like happens.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I already know that for a fact.
100%. 100%.
Like, there's no convincing somebody who loves X that Snoop won. It's like, you're not gonna convince me.
I think that's what gets lost in this whole thing, because when you do a versus, if you really, really want to go through it, you got to know both catalogs. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of people. We grew up on the East Coast, so it's a lot of people that have an East Coast bias. That's a real thing. But you have to be able to be aware of what's going on in other regions as well. And when Snoop came out, like, that's my first real introduction to music. 3 years old. Doggy Style was everywhere. Doggy Style wasn't just on the West Coast. Doggy Style was everywhere, like in every radio, all over, in the videos, like it was everywhere. So it was ubiquitous in that way. The same thing with DMX. I think because DMX's run is not as long as Snoop's, people might, forget how impactful DMX was everywhere. You get what I'm saying? Like, he was like able to transition the music and the movies at the same time in ways that we hadn't seen at that time since Tupac. So it was for them to put it together the way that they did was very, very, very beautiful.
Right. Loved it.
Before we get out of here, though, I want to run something by you, though. Recently, Fat Joe has been, he has an IG live show that he has been doing lately, and he's getting a lot of guests on. He had Big Daddy Kane on recently, especially after DMX and Snoop. It was right after DMX and Snoop, and DMX and Snoop was such a success. He went on with Kane and said, "What about a Kane and Rakim?" And Kane said,
"Come on, bro.
Kane
you
said
know Rakim don't want that smoke. You know he don't want that smoke."
Kane said he hit. He hit Swiss like, "Yo, make it happen," right? So I'm throwing that to you. Two days later, Fat Joe was talking to KRS-One, and he's like, "Yo,"
Ooh.
KRS-One's like, "Yo, LL can't see me." I'm like, "Whoa!"
Oh, whoa. All right. First of all,
so I want to get your idea on both matchups right there.
You know I love Big Daddy Kane. He in my top 5, 6, but I do not want to see him and Rakim battle. It wouldn't last long. Like, you see how that battle lasted like 2 hours? It would be like an hour. For them, I'd rather see them battle.
After 92, they probably both flame out.
Yeah,
Rakim did have a couple sneak hits, late 90s, early 2000s. He snuck a couple in there, but for the most part.
So I love Kane. So his first 2 albums are lit. First 2 albums are fire.
Same with Rakim.
The third one is like, depending on who you talk to. I personally don't really care for it, but some people do. Then he came out with Prince of Darkness is like the worst album. It's like Kingdom. No, it's actually worse than Kingdom Come. That's how bad it is. Like, and this is coming from a Big Daddy Kane fan. But then after that, he came out with 2 good ones. Right. So it's just like it's a little. His career is short. And then he came out with the last one, which was okay too. But yeah, both of their careers are so short that you don't, unless you want to make it an hour and make it like 10 songs, then that would be good. But 20 songs, for me it'd be easy, but that'd be a little tough. I would want to see them battle, just like Jadakiss and Fabulous. I don't want to see that versus matchup. I want to see them battle because they both they quote unquote battle rappers. Right. And what I mean by that, they just spit bars. They don't. Fab is a little bit better than Jadakiss to me and making actual songs. Yeah. But their strengths are just like bars. So I would rather see them battle.
One thing I want to throw in there too, and this is where I hadn't seen this at that time, but this is why, to your point, it's important that they're together. Jadakiss was able to win a lot of rounds off performance.
Right.
Where you can really, he could play to his strength with the bars. So certain songs he played, he was able to perform them and you feel the bars a lot more. Whereas Jada, he did it on certain songs after he realized how Jada was winning a lot of rounds. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in that regard, I think if Rakim and Kane went at each other, I think the nostalgia of especially the late 80s when Rock and say Rakim plays Eric B for President, when he performs that moment for people is too nostalgic. He might get around based off performance. You get what I'm saying? Rather than the song versus song, but the actual nostalgia of the performance itself. So you can hear the words, you can feel the words. It'll be a lot different.
Right. And for the second one, I personally think KRS-One is like way better, but LL Cool J is more influential, so I think LL Cool J would get the win, and he's been around longer.
Yeah, longevity.
So I think LL would probably win that.
KRS-One's longevity is underrated in a lot of ways. He was able to to extend to late 90s, like with real songs, like real hits.
Right.
You know, so
and plus his first two albums are like two of the greatest first two albums you will ever hear in your life.
Right.
To me.
Right.
So like I love KRS-One. He's in my top 10, but I think LL would beat him. I think LL would be. LL got some stuff, man. Like people, like I think our generation, we kind of sleep on LL a little bit because he made too many songs about the ladies, in my opinion. But when he first came out, radio was hard. If you haven't listened to that, check that out. It's hard.
You gotta. So you're saying radio? That's what 86.
It might be 84, something like that.
Yeah, he's around a long time, but he's really. People got to give LL credit because
85. It's 85.
85. You got to give LL credit for one thing and one thing only. He outlasted everybody in the 80s. Everybody. He was able to transition way better than everybody in the 80s. And even though he might not have been as big as people in the 90s, he was always in the conversation with them amongst hits. Or he would be featured on their hits in some way. So he's aligning himself with mega stars and holding his own in a lot of ways to get all the way to the 2000s, bro. Like, and we talking about mega hits with J-Lo. You get what I'm saying? His catalog is very similar to Snoop in that way where, you know, the peak of his run might have been at a certain time, but just staying relevant and maintaining hits continuously kept him relevant in ways that people from his initial era couldn't last. So it's people like Cool G Rap. Cool G Rap is better. You know what I'm saying? KRS-One is better. Rakim, Kane, they better, but greater. I don't know. I mean, Rakim, to me, Rakim is greater. But somebody might say his catalog is not long enough to be, you know, greater. But in terms of impact and influence, I got Rock greater. But Ra is the only one out of the 80s that I think is greater than LL.
Okay, I can see that. But before we go, my dream matchup is a matchup nobody will ever think about because, unfortunately, members of this have passed. I would want to see a Tribe and a Mobb Deep. So we could get like Q-Tip and Havoc go back and forth.
Ooh.
And then I think Tribe would win, to be honest. But, man, I want to see something like that. Or like NWA versus, even though that'd be kind of short, NWA versus Public Enemy or NWA versus Wu-Tang, something like that.
You know, I want to see that. Here's the thing about a versus, right? If you say Wu-Tang, who you say Wu-Tang versus who?
NWA.
And now watch this. Both of those collectives, right? If you play NWA, you're gonna play the whole tree, right? So you're gonna play NWA, and they're gonna play Dr. Dre hits. Then you're gonna play Ice Cube hits. So it extends the lifeline of NWA, even though it's not NWA songs. Wu-Tang is the same way. You got Wu-Tang, but then you got all of Ghostface, all of Raekwon, all of Meth. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, RZA is RZA, so he produced for everybody. He could play everything under the Wu-Tang umbrella, which would make the verses extra fire. I think that to your point about, you know, Tribe versus Mob, those two are it's more comparable in terms of like a 2 hour thing because they both have a catalog that kind of match each other in terms of
Yeah.
discography. Whereas with NWA and Wu-Tang, it's so vast it could go on forever.
Yeah, I can see that. I would also like to see Ice Cube be in there. Ice Cube versus damn. I gotta think about that one, but I want to see Ice Cube in there because he got long hits too. He got at least 20 in the chamber.
Yeah,
that he could use.
Cube's longevity is underrated too because, like, I mean, a lot of his transition went into to acting and his lifelong as a producer,
Right.
director. I mean, that went on forever. It's still going on to this day. But musically, he got his umbrella is big outside of just NWA itself. He got West Side Connection. He got Yo-Yo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Right. He got some joints that you could play.
Right. So I mean that would be good. My dream versus. I want to see a Dipset versus G Unit. A lot of I've seen on the internet in a lot of ways, people have debated who's more impactful. And in a lot of ways, over time and longevity, Dipset got it. But the G Unit run, I'm talking about the peak run of 50 Cent and G Unit from like 02 to 05, it's like nothing we ever seen before. You know what I mean? So in a lot of ways, G Unit is more worldwide renowned, but then at the same time, Dipset is more influential from an East Coast perspective, and how Jim Jones and Cameron, their longevity set up so much outside of themselves, Max B, Stack Bundles, Vado, like a lot of different people come under that umbrella on this side. So it's like I would like to see them two go at it,
That'd be a good one. But see, the thing is, like, I would want to see the whole Dipset though, and I don't know if they're really cool like that.
I mean, they're coming together more recently, especially over the last couple years with Joel's getting caught up in his legal troubles with the gun and him having to go to prison. So they definitely came together and they're a lot cooler, and really united in that way. So that's a good thing. But one of the things that I want to run by you before we get out of here, what do you think about like T.I. versus 50? Like, how did you feel about the reaction to that, and seeing how good the DMX and Snoop one was in terms of East Coast, West Coast, and how it blended together? A lot of people, and off the initial matchup, to your point, might have assumed that Snoop is walking out the door, but it was closer. Do you think that could be a similar thing with T.I. and 50? Or do you think it's too one-sided one way or another?
I actually don't think it's one-sided. I think people think 50 Cent's catalog is longer than what it actually is. Like, we're not counting mixtapes. If you want to count the mixtapes, then his catalog is crazy. But album-wise, to me, only the first two are good. After that, it's just Curtis was all right. No, but after that, it just falls off a cliff.
But watch this, though. Watch this. And I think this is where, in a lot of ways, 50 is underrated, right? The two albums you're talking about, hands down, the run itself is over. Like, that's 05. It's over after that. Curtis, he gonna snatch maybe 2 hits off of there. I give money straight to the bank, walk out the door. Those is hits, right? But
yeah.
We can't forget all of the hits that he gave G Unit. Like the G Unit first album, Beg for Mercy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Lloyd Banks' first album, he's featured on there. Young Buck first album. All of these first albums with
documentary, he could play the 3 singles off there. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think it, and then we got Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack, which had a
soundtrack
too. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right.
So
I mean, 50 would win. I think 50 would win.
Okay.
But actually, that would be a good one. 50 Cent versus Ice Cube instead of T.I. I would want to see that, and they cool with each other, so I would want to see that.
Hey, man,
I
look,
would want to see that.
we're gonna put it in the universe and see what happens, man. Before we get out of here, where can people reach you at, man?
Yo, hit me up on Instagram, Sir Nix a lot, and Behaving Dadly. I got a new episode on Behaving Dadly coming out this Sunday. Y'all stay tuned for that. And I gotta get you on there one day. One of these times we gonna get on there, man.
Definitely, man. This is the GrAE area. I'm Ask Isaiah Rhodes. We're gonna get this out on YouTube and iTunes real soon for you guys. So thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with much more. We're definitely gonna have Knicks Thomas on here once again as the season ramps up for the NBA and so much more. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the GrAE area. Peace.